Here we go again. I love the way you look at me when I'm doing that. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of my interview with the people behind Saratoga Living Magazine, a magazine that you really have to check out. This is Becky Kendall, who's the publisher, executive vice president, and the emperor himself. This is Richard Perez-Feria, who is the CEO and the president and the editor-in-chief and emperor, right? Okay.
And I vacuumed the rugs also.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we all tend to do that, right? In part 1 of my interview, we discussed just their backgrounds and what the interest was in creating this level of publication for our community. And I knew that was going to go long, so we wanted to do part 2 because I want to talk about the issue that's coming up. It's a design issue, and that, somebody like me, is very interesting. It encompasses a lot of different aspects. So what was behind deciding to do an issue on design?
Well, that would be his forte.
Oh,
well, we said
Your Majesty.
No, exactly. Well, the first thing that we agreed to was to increase the number of issues. From last year was 6 issues. Now we're doing 8 issues. Gotcha. And every issue is what I call a tent pole, meaning a special issue. So it's an event for every issue. And when we launched with the I Do issue, which is a wedding issue, and we wanted to make sure that the second issue had a real impact. And I just came off the idea of, like, this is such a rich place for interior designers and architects and the whole feeling of the aesthetic of this region. So our second issue is called the design issue, which encompasses interior design, architecture, fashion design, industrial design, everything from a smart home, what you need for a smart home, to the hottest fashion designers that are up and coming that you have to know about. We feature Glenn Coben, the guy who the architect behind the Adelphi Hotel, and we feature even inside the Adelphi, David Burke, who's now the chef that's going to be just announced, I believe, on Monday. He's known for plating and architecturally plating the food.
That's right.
Even that
part
aspect.
Of the art. That's
right. Even that aspect. Right. So we have a celebrity cover who's a surprise guest, a choice for us for this topic, but I think people will be surprised, and not surprised in some ways. I think it's a really interesting take on that. So the magazine is full of gorgeous images, beautiful type of just impactful visuals, really rich looking. And also the stories themselves I'm so proud of, because the writers are not only local often, but also some national writers, but talking about topics that people are just going to be thrilled about. So besides the design aspect of the magazine, we also cover extensively horses, in horse country, and we have a great story on the horse that we think is going to win the Kentucky Derby. Is Good Magic, and his ownership was Bob and Chris Edwards, and
they have real ties to Saratoga.
His trainers,
that's right, sure.
Chad, right. So then we have that. We have a story on the history of women in horse racing, which is interesting, and also a tribute story on Mary Hirsch, which remains the only woman trainer to ever train a winning horse at Travers. So that's very interesting. And also we do a story on Oklahoma, on the practice track that runs parallel to.
You know what I noticed about the magazine? This city, as I was saying earlier, there's a real intellectual curiosity here, but I also know that you're doing something, there's something very special going on at SPAC this summer. The Cuban Ballet is coming. This is a real coup for SPAC to get, so hats off to Elizabeth Sobel. But they're also only, I think, making 4 appearances in the whole country, and Saratoga is one of them. Okay. And you're doing a feature on that.
We are. In fact, my background is my parents are from Cuba, so for me, there's a very personal, amazing coincidence.
Yeah, nice connection.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're able to get Octavio Roca, who's the world's preeminent expert on Cuban ballet, to actually write the story. And he himself, and Alicia Alonso is the founder and creating genius of the Cuban Ballet, and he and her are very good friends and have known each other from Cuba. Wow. So this guy was a former dance critic at the Washington Post and the San Francisco Chronicle. So this is the real deal. The story is so amazing and so personal, and all the stories in this magazine, I think from wall to wall, I think people are going to be surprised and very, very happy to see. I think there's a difference going on with this magazine. It's beyond the visuals and the more obvious stuff that's cosmetic, but once you dig in, it's something that's connecting you to these stories. And I think the magazine itself, over time, it's going to be like a must-read, a must-have, something you want next to your bed or on that coffee table for a long time.
Well, you know what, I think it is already, by the way.
Thank you.
And again, you can tell, when you put this kind of passion into what you're doing, it shows. And I always like the idea that you discover things from issue to issue. You know what I mean? It happens in my industry too, in broadcast.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep discovering things, and the more you discover, just the better it gets and the more rewarding it gets.
It's a blank canvas that you fill in different ways every issue.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the design issue hits the street next week, right?
Yes.
Publisher.
Next Tuesday it comes out. But we have our design issue party. So with every release of a magazine, we have
I'm
a party
shocked to
now.
hear you're involved with a party. This is
I know.
what a stretch.
I know. So everyone is invited.
Now, let me guess. You picked an architecturally significant, design-centered
Exactly.
facility.
You've got it. So we'll be at the Adelphi
Great.
on Wednesday the 11th next week from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. We'll have our signature cocktail. It'll be a cash bar for everything else, and it will be lots of fun.
Oh, that's great. Now, you also said something for the 8 issues over the course of the year. You're going to select a venue that kind of goes with.
Yeah, it kind of ties in.
I noticed you did Putnam for the first one because it was
Yeah.
let's blast out here.
Yeah.
That's
It's a fun party.
Yes, exactly right. It
Yeah.
certainly was. The design issue will be at the Adelphi.
Right.
So when is that?
Next week, Wednesday the 11th,
Wednesday the 11th. What time?
7 to 10 p.m.
7 to 10 p.m. with a
Yes.
signature cocktail.
Yes, and then cash bar for everything else.
I got it. Okay. All right. Something tells me it's going to be a good party. Now, looking forward, just one thing. You did mention to me that 20th anniversary.
Yes, the magazine has been around for 20 years.
Yeah, not like this, but I suppose in name
Yeah.
only, it's been around for 20,
Yes.
20 years. When is that?
So that will be out late May.
Late May. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we'll
that's-
have you back again. Please, you got to come back before 20th anniversary, and please get a haircut, okay?
Always my hair. Always talk about my hair all the time.
Well, welcome. It's great to have you both in.
Thank you.
And,
Thank
and
you.
talk about this. It's Saratoga Living. It's everywhere it needs to be, and pick it up for sure. And watch out for next week, the design issue, and as you can tell, loaded with a lot of really interesting information and entertainment. Well, Becky, thank you for taking the time to
you.
come in. Richard, great to see
Thank
you
you,
again,
Will.
and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.